Good morning and welcome back to Pro Billiard TV. This is the Banca del Fucino WPA Women's World Temple Championship, and we have gotten ourselves to the most important stage of the tournament. This is the single elimination, last 16. Soon we are going to find out who's going to win 55,000 US dollars. We're not far away, still a couple matches to go. On this table, we have a great Chinese clash between, as you can see, Chen Ximing, and on the other side, Shashalu. They'll be facing each other for a chance in the quarterfinal and guaranteeing themselves a little bit over 8,000 US dollars. My name is Tim de Ruiter. I'm gladly joined by my good friend and colleague, Gethin Davis. Welcome, Gethin.
Thank you, Tim. And yes, this all-Chinese clash should be a thriller, Tim. A few of our co-commentators have been picking Chen from the get-go, and she's made it here unbeaten and has taken out a couple of big names on her way. Shashalu had to come the longer route, and well, she'll be fighting hard to make this place in the quarterfinals. As you mentioned, we're getting into some serious numbers in the prize pool, and Simin Chen with the break, winning the lag in this winner breaks format. And I have to say, Tim, no one so far really running away with it from the break in the winner breaks format.
Yeah, always a challenging format with the referee racking the balls. And now the player is breaking from the side rail. Never a guaranteed ball to go. Now, we are playing 10 ball. It's call shot, of course. It's best out of 5 sets. Races to 4. So extended format now in the last 16. And the first look at the table for Shasha. Does she have a bank on the one? Could she go aggressive from the start? No, she has called the middle.
She had a pathway, Tim, but tricky going into the side pockets with pace.
Yeah, those side pockets not the friendliest. How often have we seen these kind of things happen to the players? And they'll just have to aim that little better, right?
Yeah, they just need to be treated with care. Predator arc tables, they're very unforgiving side pockets. No options on this blue too, except safe, and she's done that really well, getting both object ball and cue ball locked up.
Well, besides all the experience Ximing Chen has, she's also been playing a lot of hayball. The last couple of years, the only thing she did was playing hayball. She's won actually quite a lot of events, I heard. So financially, I think she made a really solid step for herself. And I think her cueing only got better. So it's been a while since I've seen her play American pool. I'm just looking forward to see at what stage, at what level she will perform. She does get the ball in hand. 10 ball clustered up, Geth.
Yeah, there's not really much to attack here unless she's going to go straight into them now. If the 3 passes the 6, good opportunity to land on the 3, but always a bit risky going into a cluster.
Well, it does go to the top left, but look at what the 8 did.
Yeah, that's locked up against the 7, and now there's a 5-10 cluster and a 7-8 cluster to contend with. This isn't going to be an easy one to go on the offense. And I'm a little bit newer to the scene, Tim, so I haven't seen much of Chen at all. But as I mentioned, some of our colleagues in previous matches really did pick her from the get-go and fancied her to be coming into this event really strong. And I haven't seen too much of her in open play at the moment, so I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think the biggest memory I have to her game is when, well, I was a lot younger, but we were playing the Euro Tour in Austria, and Jasmine invited Ximing to join for the Euro Tour, and she actually made it in the last, well, through to the last 32 in the men's event, which, I mean, it's not something that has been achieved quite often by a female player, because we had, well, we have very strong Euro Tours. So that for me showed me that she just plays on a different level.
Yeah, and to come to this stage unbeaten should not be considered any mean feat. Although we have seen a lot more of Shasha, and she's been playing very solid on the PBS circuit. And one thing I just picked up on that others may just be a little confused with, yes, with the Euro Tour, it's not just exclusive for European players either. Useful for players to know if they're visiting. Played that nice, but just didn't find cover. One rail kick and stick would be the preferred route here, I believe. Oh.
Yeah, played
Judge
it
that.
to perfection. And also with the 5 being so close to the 7 and the 8, there's a big chance that cluster will open up at the same time.
Oh, what's it going to do with the 10 ball? It's ball in hand. And where the 5 is, as you mentioned, Tim, very easy to develop that cluster now.
Yeah, nice deliberate cannon, opening up the 7 and having ideal angle on the 6. That's another thing. I mean, those are very common shots in hayball, for example, but not so common in, for example, rotation pool. So she might have tweaked a couple skills here and there.
Be interesting to see how she does transition. I'm sure she plays quite a bit of American pool on the side as well. But with ball in hand, she would have expected herself to pick these off, and she has done, and will get the opening rack on the board by the looks of it, Tim, and looking strong.
Yeah, definitely cueing the ball nice and smooth. So the opening rack going to Ximing Chen. This could be either a very quick match or a very long match. I don't think it's gonna be anywhere in between that.
Well, one indication from that opening rack, Tim, the safety play and the escape from such safeties. If both players are going to be performing like that, we could be in for some interesting battles. And as I was had the pleasure of commentating on yesterday, can make for a longer match, but just as entertaining. And I'm with you. I think it could go quick or long. No real margin for in between.
Oh, Oh, one ball sliding in. She does have a shot on the 2. Get to the middle of the table, float the 3 ball in, and you're on the 4. So first couple are okay. Just to get on the 5, and then from the 5 to the 6 ball.
Just wondering if she's played this in a way that she might develop the 5. Unless she fancies, as you said, Tim, getting position on it to get shape up for the 6, which does look really difficult from where that 5's positioned. She may want to move it a little. She moved it a bit more than a little, and that's worked out very nicely.
Yeah, look at this. She doesn't have to do too much on the 4 to get that angle on the 5 up table. I mean, it's not laying straight forward with how, for example, the 8 and the 9 are laying. But towards the end of the rack, you're going to get so much space anyways. So I'm not too worried about the ending. Just going to make sure she gets a little angle on the 6. And now 2 rails to play the 7 into the right middle.
Well, just another interesting statistic before we start delving into the live stats as they're coming in. Chen has only dropped 1 set on her route here to this last 16 match. She's played 3, and that's quite formidable in itself. Clearly able to get shape on the 9 for the bottom right. And she's looking quite comfortable out there, Tim. Shasha's going to be eager to get to the table with an opportunity soon. And I tell you something, what an incredible break and run. I didn't really think that was on from the way the balls landed after the break, Tim. That was impressive stuff.
Yeah, definitely showing great form. As you said, she has been picked by our colleagues to possibly take the trophy. Well, if she plays like this, if she can play like this for 3-4 sets, I think it's very possible.
Yeah, and as we just wait for Bojana Banda to put the rack away, our referee from Serbia, I mentioned within the introductions, Tim, no player so far has really got to grips with the break. If she's able just to start making balls on the break and have the next ball available, she's certainly looking in form to go on the offense every time.
Oh, not this time. Shape on the 1, but already tricky to get on the 2. Can she play this into the middle? Cue ball draw into the 5. Don't think the 1 goes into the corner, so she'll have to work the cue ball a little bit.
was a teaser, Tim. But as you mentioned, it was always going to be difficult to get shape on the 2, and maybe focusing on that a little bit more than that side pocket. But that's not a bad leave.
Yeah, there's another dynamic I actually was thinking about, because like I said, we have a Chinese clash. How often would these two players have played each other? I mean, there's always that, like, sometimes playing friends can be difficult, or sometimes playing someone you've played 20, 30 times in your life before can be more difficult. It's just an extra dimension we have to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know Chen was playing with Chang in our Fujifilm women's double showdown. But quite rightly, I'm sure they will know each other's game rather well. Ooh. Good escape, but scratch. Good opportunity for Shasha here. Hasn't really had a look in as of yet. That tricky one into the side pocket. But with ball in hand, the table's not looking too shabby, Tim.
Yeah, especially if you get to the 5 and the 6, you're opening up the center of the table a lot. And that's where the traveling, going back and forth, becomes a lot easier. So just gotta make sure she gets a little angle on the 3 ball to pop off the rail. Could play the 4 into the bottom right. Could also play for the same corner as the 3 ball. Kinda depends on how she lands here. So she has a backup. Not so happy with being so close to the rail though. Okay, she can draw back. Maybe it comes off the rail just slightly.
Delightful. Got the cue ball off the cushion and didn't lose control of it, Tim. Maybe being high of it just changes how she'll attack this 4, but good recovery. Lovely pace of the cue ball. And as you said, Tim, now an opportunity to clear out the middle of the table.
And with being perfect on the 6, yeah, she can give herself every time that little angle on the 7, little angle on the 8. You're working the cue ball a bit more on this than actually using your shot making. That's why she's so deliberate at the moment.
And again, Tim, finding that little angle like you were alluding to just makes options that much more. And let us not forget, Shasha was straight on the winner's bracket through to the winner's qualification. She lost to a very tough match against Yuki Hiraguchi and then had to come slightly longer route in the loser's bracket, but she's clearly come here firing on all cylinders as well. And from going 2 down quickly, Tim, this has been a very strong clearance.
Yeah, good start for both, actually. If you think about it, just the break being a little bit of a hiccup, but we're going to see that more often. I mean, both one fall. Okay, 2 missed shots for Shasha against 1 for Siming, but it's still early also. Stats after 3 racks. But you can already see the break success at 33 is not, well, not great. There's most of the time not much you can do about it.
Exactly. We'll get to have a look at Shasha's first break of this match. Going with the cut break again. Wow. How'd you like that, Tim? 3 off the break, shape on the 2 and the 3, not looking too bad for that side pocket.
Well, I mean, there's almost no work to be done. Because the 3 connects nicely to the 5. You just got to make sure you get the proper angle on the 5 ball to be a bit straighter on the 6. And before you know it, you're on the 7 with the 9 in the middle, possibly, or in the top corner. Great run-out chance this for 2 each.
Yeah, that has to be up there in the top 3 breaks of the week so far. We're on day 5. That was very nice, and without putting the commentator's curse on it, certainly expect her from a performance in the last rack to tidy these away. She's not completely happy with that. I think she just wanted that cue ball to come over a bit more, Tim.
Yeah, I was wondering how far can she reach, and her bridge hand a bit. Well, she's even going in front of the 7, so longer stroke.
Yeah, good recovery. Back in prime position here, Tim, and both these women have come here to play. Great look at the focus on Shasha Liu's face. She'll know how important this rack is to bring it back to all square in this race to 4. They do creep up on you.
Yeah, 2 each. A break, a run in. She does have to break in the next one. Would be a great turnaround, actually, in the opening set. kind of looked like Ximing Chen was going to run away with the opener.
Yeah, indeed. And you have to say, both girls should be feeling on top form in open play. They're looking deadly. As we just look over at table 1, that's the matchup between Savannah Roadrunner Easton, a 16-year-old from the US, taking on the defending champ, Cesca Centino. The score over there in Cesca's favour, 3-1 in their opening set. But it's great to see some young Americans in this last 16. Sophia Mast joins Savannah in the lineup. And back to our table. Can Xia Liu deliver another break like the one she just did?
Well, I don't know what she did eat for breakfast, but I would love to have some too. I said something about the break success being so low and all that stuff, and now suddenly she keeps making balls on the break. Just a little bit limited with how much she can do on this 2-ball. Cue ball so close to the rail. Might have to play for a cut on the 3-ball. And a rare miss so far in this match.
I think that's probably the easiest one that they've missed, but that wasn't an easy shot at all. She was looking just to freeze that cue ball to take that thin cut you were mentioning, Tim. But the object ball did kick back across the table and left something for Ximing Chen to attack. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, there's some drama for you. This, I'm not sure if. Well, you can always arc the cue ball off the left long rail, but like most of the time, kicking this with plain, like a plain ball, like no spin, kind of opens up too much. So most of the time, you'll have to check this back. Right spin. Oh, maybe another try. But no rail. I don't think it's gonna matter anyways. 3-ball over the corner. So Xia missing the 2-ball and already back at the table.
Yeah, she'll be delighted to be back at the table. An unforced error from Ximing Chen. Just the cue ball running away a little bit. But this match is already starting to look like, if there is and when there is ever a rare mistake to happen, the other player is certainly going to pounce. And the scoreline is moving along quite quickly here, Tim. It's starting to look like it's going to be one of them quick ones. But I'm not too sure the scoreline's going to run away with either player.
Yeah, you could definitely say so far this match feels quite even. Still a long way to go. Any player could break down in this kind of format. Like I said, in the past we have seen matches run 5 hours, for example. But then, I mean, that's in the worst case where it was like 4-3, 4-3, back and forth, hill sets.
One thing I think that is maybe a little different to some of the matches I've been joining is the breaks from both players have really opened up the table, and really the first opportunity that comes either to the player that broke or the player that returns to the table, they're just looking to attack. and you don't necessarily get so many safety battles in that format. Previously, when players are struggling with the break, there's a couple of clusters out there, and players are very quick to go on the defense rather and lock their opponents up. Not seen so much of that. Maybe a couple of safeties in the opening rack, Tim.
Well, a little bit more action on the cue ball needed to bring the cue ball back down. Let's see. I kind of like this top spin, just a drip of left, but some players there are a big fan of stunning the ball. 2 reels. Oh, she played it a bit in between. Bit of an in-between stroke there. No punch, no stun, but also not floating the ball. That could have gone wrong, Gath.
Yeah, that started to look very dangerous. However, good look at this 10. And this to take the lead after trailing 2-0. This will be for 3 in a row. And there we have it. Xia Liu was sat in her chair for the first 2 and has come out and followed it with, well, 3 in the row. One of them a break and run. And her breaks are looking strong, Tim. Just have a look. All 8 matches underway in the last 16. As I mentioned, table 1 matchup is between Savannah Easton and Cesca Centino. Centino, the defending champion, has taken the opening set there. I'll bring you a couple of updates from the other tables, but just a few to note. Sosoa is 3-0 up on the American Sophia Mast, and Yuki Hiraguchi is 2-2 with the very tough Filipina Rubian Amit. We'll keep you abreast of them, but if you want to keep updated on the scores yourselves, please do visit ProBilliardSeries.com. Back to Xia Liu.
Well, again, a nice action on the balls. This time nothing dropping though, but you know, if you feel like the balls at least are shattering all over the place, gives me a vibe that at some point they are gonna go for you. They're gonna work for you in this case. Now, I don't fancy this run out. Do you?
Yeah, good question, Tim. From the overhead, it didn't look too attractive, especially with this 2 being covered by the 5. That's forced Chen to need to draw back. It's not worked, but how did that little last collision fare? I don't... Yeah. Oh, she can see the potting angle. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, 2 and the 5 now, a bit tricky too. Off angle combination.
Well, where that cue ball is, Tim, it's going to be quite difficult to control the cue ball. I'm just wondering, depending on where she needs to contact that 2, will the cue ball be travelling towards the right corner as well? It looks like it's going to hold a little bit of topspin on it.
Well, I'm actually considering playing safe. Just split the balls, bring the cue ball to the left side of the 10. Play the 2 off the 5 to the right long rail. Just wait. Can chase the run out, but it's laying so tough already. Well, honestly, I have no clue what her intention was there. Okay, she was trying to make the 5 ball, but that 2 ball was all, well, completely random.
Yeah. Maybe she was just leaving a little bit to the elements, but Chen will be very happy to get out of her chair with a look at this 2. Getting shape on that 3 isn't a given, though.
Well, she could make this and play safety on the 3 ball, but it looked like she was playing for... Yeah, I just don't think the 3 goes by the 9, so she's going to play safe behind the 8. This might not be well enough.
Yeah, as you can see from the overhead, there is a gap between the cue ball and 8. Depending how much Shasha needs to jump over, it might become a possibility, although she hasn't returned for a jump stick.
Yeah, maybe just kicking a bit deeper past 7 with low left. Maybe she might be able to barely hit an edge. Oh, she had a look on that 3 ball. No future, but now a thin contact on the 3 ball. The player with the best save is going to win this rack, and that could mean the end of the set, or 3 each. And this is not it.
No. Interesting shot selection there, Tim. I was half expecting from what you picked up on for the cue ball to be coming down towards the 5. Ooh. How did it get through that gap? It's not worked out, though.
Yeah, coming into the positional area a bit across. This has come up too short. I don't even think she still has a chance to get on the 5 ball.
So far, she's chosen offense more than defense. But I think defense was the best decision there, especially if that slides past. That'll work. And you said it, Tim. The player that plays the best safety will take this rack. Was that shot it? Looks like Chen's going to go airborne here. Oh. Did look like the 4 was going to drop there, Tim. It hasn't, and that's made this shot a little trickier for Shasha. She's making a beeline for that 8-6.
Yeah, but then again, the 4 could have been played under the 10 and the 5. Okay, she has the cover behind the 6, but if you can like get cover under the 5 and the 10 and above the 6, you take the jump cue out. Could also kick over the right long rail, so would like to go 2 rails.
And in And making that foul has brought the 5 down the table, and that might make it a bit easier to look for shape on that 6, because from here it doesn't look like it passes the 8 into the corner pocket. Just looking at the angle to play underneath it. Needs to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, she left herself a lot more distance right from ball in hand.
Oh.
Yeah, back in line on the 6. Okay, little angle, but she'll be able to kill the pace off the cue ball.
I think this is the only rack where we've seen a player look a little bit out of sorts. Chen just not able to get her teeth in here. And this is now looking a good opportunity from 2-0 down, Tim, to take this opening set. And fully deserved, you'd have to say.
Oh, very snatchy.
I noticed how we both stayed quiet there, Tim. As soon as she brought the extension out, that made that shot a lot trickier, bearing in mind where she wanted to get the cue ball. There may be some life in this opening set yet. Oh. And Chen may be a bit surprised coming back to the table at that point, but didn't need asking twice and has brought the scoreline back to 3-3 in this winner breaks format. Will get the break. Hill. So far, Shasha getting the better of the break so far, but it'll be interesting to see if Chen's spotted anything while watching her break. Just have a look over at table 1 and looking out across the arena, a couple of first set results in. Cheyu Chao has taken the opening set against Shi Tianqi, and Choa Chen has taken the opening set against Christina Tkach. If you want to keep updated with them scores, they're all on probilliardseries.com, and you can get links to there. Also our Fujifilm women's doubles showdown. There'll be more of that action coming up today, kicking off at 3 p.m. local time. And a little look at the stats, and so far Shasha having the better of them, but Siming Chen at the table. Hill could go anywhere in this opening set.
Well, she's left everything in the open. Got the 1 in, run into the 5, open the 5 ball up. You have a 2-4 combination. I think it's just to get from the 2 to the 3 ball.
Yeah, just looking at it from the overhead, it does look a tricky one to take on. But moving the 5-ball from this one could be very fruitful. Oh. Depending on the line she's got on that blue too, Tim, that's one hell of a shot. Pushing the 5 into the open and holding still for the 2.
Well, she does have a slight angle running to the bottom. I don't think she can punch it out enough to be on the 3 to the middle. Can she draw into the 10? Oh, did she lock him up? No, I think it still does go. This is a great effort.
Yeah, fantastic. And what an angle. This should tell us that looks good, Tim. Well, her break and run was a real clinic in how to pick apart a difficult looking pattern. This one from the get-go to me didn't look that attractive. But 2, 3 real intricate shots from Shasha, and she's off to the races, and this is opening up really nice, Tim.
Yeah, not out of the woods yet. There will be some pressure, as she just missed the 8, but also she'll have to travel from the 7 back down for the 8 and then back up table for the 9, so back and forth, always a scare.
She gave that an almighty thump and get the draw. And really now focusing exactly on what you were pointing out, Tim, what shape she wants on this 7 to get the best opportunity for getting back for the 8.
Oh, she brought the cue ball over nicely. Okay, she won't be able to reach, so that might be a bit uncomfortable on the queuing. But she's a bit flatter on the 7.
Extension.
Back to the middle of the table. You could say almost every angle on the 8 works.
Siming Chen looking on astutely with maybe a little hope that she'll get back to the table. As I mentioned, she may have been surprised in the last rack, but she was able to take advantage. So far, Shasha looking very much in control with this cue ball at the moment. She doesn't seem to have been fazed by that missed 8. Just tapped the table like the cue ball didn't go exactly where she wanted it, but it still looks like a very nice line to let the cue ball just run on.
Yeah, ideal on the 10, perfect. She's going to take this set. A very tight opening set from both sides. Not too many mistakes. So it is Sasha Liu taking the opening set for the 3. And right into the timeout. I cannot imagine them not wanting to leave. Yeah, she's called a timeout. So, Captain Davis, myself, Tim Druiter, we're gonna go for a little timeout too. But don't go anywhere. This match could go all the way. And we are back live all the way from Rome. This is the Banca del Fucino WPA Women's World Temple Championship. We have gotten ourselves a great clash in the last 16, single elimination stage. This Shashalu taking the opening set 4-3 and now breaking to continue that run. Gethin Davis, myself, Tim de Ruiter in the booth calling the shots. Geth, what do you think this set?
Well, both players impressed me in the opener, Tim. Simin Chen got off to an absolute flyer. It didn't look like she was going to give Shasha Liu a look in. But when Shasha did, not only did she play a great run out, she then followed that with a break and run and started to dominate. Had to fight hard for the 4-3 win in the opening set. But expect Simin Chen to respond, and to respond with authority. Best of 5 set format now. We'll just start to allow any difference in the players to be exaggerated. But I have to say, oh, Simin Chen misses that too. I've not really seen much to pick between them. That 10 may have come to the rescue.
Well, she does always have a jump kick, like jump rail first is a possibility. Or maybe even jumping the left side, bringing the cue ball 1 rail back down. Definitely worth the risk jumping this.
Oh, that was not what she wanted. And that was, I believe, down to going for it directly, Tim, as you suggested, coming rail first. May have been a better option. And with ball in hand, Chen has played out centre table with no trouble facing her, and this is exactly what she will have wanted after the timeout. And going with her performance for the opening 2 racks, this is all she really needs to get her teeth into.
Oh, a little bit more angle on this 6 ball. Still does go into the middle and able to hold the cue ball, but makes stroke more sensitive.
Looking just as comfortable as she did in the opening racks. Not phased by the scoreline. And in open play, neither player take too long in their shot decisions, eh, Tim?
Well, fantastic start, Geth. I mean, she looks like she's hitting the ball so smooth as well. But the wheels did come off the first set after being 2-0 up. Has to make sure to keep pushing even though she has the lead.
Yeah, I agree. She'll be fully aware of what Shasha's capable of if she does let her back in. One thing that the statistics are showing is that she's really going to need to get more success from her break. That's probably the glaring difference for me right now. And over on table 1, after taking the opening set, Cesca Centino found herself 3-0 down to Savannah Easton. It is fought back to 3-2. There are some great matches going on all 4 of our stream tables right now. Not working.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say what exactly is the difference between Ximing's break and Sasha's break, but with Sasha's break, I feel like the balls have been just spreading a bit more. More balls going up table 2. Just a different energy.
Yeah, I remember us in the booth at a distant past tournament, Tim, and there were on the odd occasions where players were just taking a little bit of venom off their break and the timing just seemed to allow the balls to open up more. I'm just wondering if she's found a sweet spot of sorts. Ooh. That's not how she intended that shot to go. And the shot clock was ticking away in her ear. I'm not sure if that had any bearing on the result, but Simin Chen's to the table here, Tim, and again, looks quite an open table for her.
Yeah, things going very similar to the first set. Now, this 3-4, quite a challenge. Probably top right spin, trying to run the cue ball between the 6 and the 10.
Ooh. That cue ball didn't behave, and I don't believe there's even an edge of the 4. Indeed, no, there is not, Tim. There are options to make contact and get distance between the 2.
Well, needs a bit of a roll. She's not gonna get it. And now she has also cleared the rack, opened up the rack, because it was all about getting a bit of back and forth action early on in the rack, and everything else should be connecting the dots. Maybe 7, 8, 9. There was some traveling, but she's a huge favorite for this rack now.
Yeah, and that was an opportunity missed for Simin Chen there. Like you said, Tim, she needs to push on, and that was the time to do it. She's playing these nicely. Was leaving herself nice angles. This one a little straighter, but where the 7 is, she can squeeze more angle out of this shot.
Yeah, nicely towards the 8. Doesn't have to draw all the way up table. Just give yourself enough cut on the 9 to get back to the middle of the table.
Yeah. And has come down just enough. This great response from Shasha. Took her to the third rack in the opening set to get the opportunity. It's only the second in the second set. And she's looking as formidable as ever. And as much as Siming Chen was impressive from the get-go, she's going to need to stamp out them unforced errors.
Yeah, nice and clean. 2-0 lead. Oh, that's actually not true. 1 each. Let's make this 1 each. But it was supposed to be a 2-0 lead actually for Chen. So she's missed the boat there. Can Shasha take the initiative in this set again?
Yeah, good question, Tim. Her breaks have indicated that she's going to give herself every opportunity of doing so. And, well, we'll see what result she gets as she'll return to the table here. Just a little look over at action on table 1. Savannah Easton has just taken that second set. It's 1 apiece over there, and she's got a tough match on her hands against Cheska Centino. I saw some of her results. Centino's coming in, and after being put in the loser's side, she really just stamped her foot down. So that's going to be a real interesting one to see how that pans out. But back to our very interesting encounter. Shasha Liu to break. Has tied it back up at 1 apiece in the second set and does lead 1-0. A lot of action. Nothing dropping. A 50-yard line 1 ball available. But I don't believe really much to attack. And Chen playing the safe, bringing the cue ball round the 8.
Yeah, good shot. I don't think there's anything over the top short rail. So she's going over the long route. Yeah, I think I would like to kick this with some pace. If I make a hit, you know, try to maybe get the 1 ball back down table.
Ooh. Unfortunate, Tim. Caught the side pocket's jaw. It did look like she was going to make good contact with the 1 ball until then. Chen's looking to pick that little window between the 10 and the 6 there, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, my next question is going to be, what are we going to do on the 4? Does it go by the 7? I think it might, so... Oh. Looks like she might not be completely on this. Maybe she's playing this with some inside spin. Throwing the ball, yeah, super soft. She might have overdone it, yeah. Well, she does get a safety out of it, but at least Shasha back at the table.
Oh, she was looking at a fine margin, picking that window off. I can see what she was trying to do because not much was needed with the cue ball to land on the 3. But where that 10 ball was always going to make it tricky to come down for the 4. I do think, like you suggested, it passes into the corner pocket by the black 8 ball. But Shasha has got to do something with this 2 first and foremost. Up and down the table again.
Yeah, great try, but at that pace, The only thing that Tubal was going to do is either go in or stay over the corner.
If anything, to get on the 4, I would want to come up the left side of the table for the 3. Like this. Or, yeah, indeed. Play it into the top left corner. Otherwise, that 10 ball was...
To play the 3 in the upper corner. And then look at the 5 not going by the 9.
She's having a look. Can she slide it past? That would suggest it does, Tim. I can't see her taking on the combination.
Wow, it did slide by the 9. I wasn't thinking that was possible.
No, indeed, it looked really tight, Tim. And this would suggest the 7 passes the 8 as well, and this has turned out to be a good clearance so far from Chen. This is how she kicked off her account in the opening set. Very strong. Her opponent, Shasha Liu, equally as strong. This match is really brewing up nicely, and we're only in the second set, which brings the scoreline to 2-1, back out in the lead. And again, as we alluded to when we had the statistics up, just her break that needs to sort of come to her a bit better, and she would be very much in good form to take the second set. As you can see there, Shasha having the lion's share. And a couple of other matches we haven't mentioned as of yet over on our streamed table 4 on Pro Billiard TV. Margaret Fefalova taking on Jasmine Ushan. Margaret Fefalova taking the opening set there. They're about to begin their second. Chen to the table, leading 2-1 in the second set, race to 4 with the break.
I think it's kind of fascinating how she really has been struggling to make a ball. Like this whole 1.5 set now. Percentage quite low for Chen. A little bit of a break for Liu. Let's get some breathing space.
How's the cue ball? Made contact with the 4. Still has this 2 available.
Yeah, let's see if she's going to play 2 rails around the 3 ball or maybe a hint of inside spin. No, I think she just decided to make the ball.
Yeah.
The 3 is available to almost every pocket, or actually to any corner, any middle. So this low left into the short rail and out. More like a stun left probably. And then it's all about, well, you could say the 7 ball, but also the 9 ball needs work.
Yeah, played that well for the 5 in the side. Now we'll be looking for the shape she wants on the 6 to be able to deliver the cue ball back up for the 7. I'm not sure. Unless she runs out of position, she may need to run into the 10. But otherwise, she is limited on options for the 9, as you suggested. This could be the key shot.
Yeah, does she get that little angle on the 7? Well, she does have an angle on the 7, but I was thinking about maybe a little angle to give the 10 a nudge and be on the 8. She was actually checking if the 9 does go by the 10. I mean, I wouldn't think so, but if it does, obviously she's not going to play any bump.
Well, the cue ball's going to be travelling a little bit to get position on this 9, but if she's picked up that 9 passes the 10, that will make playing for position on this 9 that much easier. Oh, look at that camera angle, Tim. That gives it away a little bit more.
Yeah, and look at how nicely she has put herself. It's kind of interesting how both players are like switching off and on their gear. Chen showing up, starting with 2 good racks, then it's Shasha taking 3 racks, solid. No, like back and forth, they're just swapping. This now 2 each again, just like the previous set.
It's like trading blows out there between the pair. And you mentioned very early on, both players were very much likely have played each other a lot, met each other a lot, and quite likely to be friends. And they've certainly not looked very friendly out there. They've both been very much in their own zone, and both looking in formidable form, and difficult to pick between them. I would say Shasha's breaks are probably the only difference so far for me. But I don't know, Tim. This one, certainly this second set, is a really good indication to how this match is going to play out.
Well, maybe I just should not have mentioned anything about the break.
Actually got away with it a little bit. That 9 ball was tracking towards the top right before taking heavy contact. Again, great power and contact on the break. Bit unfortunate with not making a ball, but rather fortunate to have not left any look for Chen on this 1 ball. Fully expect a push to be called here. Indeed. And she's pushed it a ball away, leaving the edge of the one.
Yeah, definitely looking to bring the cue ball 3 rails above the 8 and the 9. Banking the 1 over.
Extension.
Needs the cue ball to run a bit more. It's not. That one ball's in the open, Tim. This is definitely on Chen's radar. She's having a good look, but I don't think it passes the 5. Oh.
Well, I guess it does.
Oh, clean as well, yeah.
Well, she'll have to play this like top and a lot of left to get back to the middle of the table. And then the next question should be the 8 ball. Am I going to play a combination 8-9? Or is she going to play the short side for the 8?
Personally, I like to shy away from the combinations, especially when there's a gap between them. However, this week our players have been making them look easy. Okay, maybe she is playing for the combination if she draws back from the 7 here. No. Elected to go the other way. Ooh. Was running into the 9, was always going to run into the 9. I didn't think she was going to play it that hard. This is a tricky cut.
Wow.
Indeed.
I mean, the score is now 2 each. Maybe a bit of a tilt decision, I don't know, but this could cost her the set.
Yeah, and really, it's been a case of unforced errors for Chen in that regard. Not too many of them, but they just put Shasha back in the driver's seat, and she doesn't need asking twice. 3-2, Tim, as you suggested, put herself on the hill, and with a quite strong break at the moment, puts herself in every good position to take this second set, and Chen's made that a little bit more difficult for herself.
Yeah, I just had to look back at the replay just to see what exactly she had done there, because, well, she pushed it a little bit too hard towards the rail, but she could have played double base or bring the cue ball back all the way to the middle of the table. Like, there was more options. So Well, I'm not gonna say it was a bit of a brain fart, just a misjudgment from Chen. And as you just said, Shashalu possibly breaking to get a 2-0 lead in sets.
Ball down.
Well, is she going to lock the cue ball up behind the 9, freeze it up? Or is she going to opt for more distance?
It's not too bad a spread of the balls. In fairness, Tim, she will not want to give Chen a look at this one after this shot.
Oh, this one ball could come off the rail. Did it come out enough? Don't think the one ball is on. But Chen could have been trapped behind the 9, so I think she must be very happy she has called it. She's going rail first. Bottom left.
Oh,
How is she gonna get on the 2? Does she get anything on the 2? No, I think she's trapped herself quite bad.
yeah. The cue ball just rubbed the 10 as well, taking a bit more energy out of it. She's looking at the 2, possibly even picking up a 3rd rail to make contact on the 2 here. Nothing guaranteed. Oh. I think that's leaked out too far. She did pick up that 3rd rail. Was not far away from a kick and stick. Kept the cue ball down this side of the table, at this end of the table. Maybe it's not on.
Extension.
Well, going rail first just really doesn't have much value. It's the biggest issue. You could go rail first to try and bring the cue ball behind the 5 or the 9, but I would most definitely not try to make the 2 ball.
At that pace, I'm not too sure if she was actually going for that. I think she may have been. It's come out of it in not too bad a shape, but good opportunities for Chen to go with a good defensive shot and making a great line behind the 9. Oh, how do you like that, Tim?
Well, she desperately needed to do so. 2 ball exactly in the middle of the table, so not easy to hit. A lot of space around it, of course. She's looking at going 2 rails. Could also go 1 rail over the top short rail. No, she's playing deliberate fall, pushing the 5 together with the 4. Does it land funny? I think it could work quite well. Maybe there is a 4-5 combination. Wow, she's looking to play shape for the window still.
Yeah, it's a nice little group of balls there to maybe aim to put the cue ball in. And maybe look at drawing the 3 fouls, but as you spotted quite rightly, Tim, looks like Chen's looking for that window, and again she's dressed a cue up, as indeed she is. There's, well, fine margins, Tim.
Oh, this is close. This might be not on. This might be just a bit too thin.
Yeah, Bojana straight into position to look at this carefully. Quite rightly, our referee from Serbia.
Oh, I think she was trying to catch the 7 full. Is she still on it? A bit more distance, a bit more cut.
Oh, she's got me on the edge of my chair, Tim. Really important rack. Ooh. She dressed up the combination with that little rub of the 6. Whoa, that would be a turnout.
I don't know. Yeah, she might be still going. That's unbelievable. That would be a major roll, but the 7 does not drop. And Sasha now, look at the chance she has been given.
Wow. I mean, to play that 5, to look to get something out of that 6-7 combination cluster, I have to say, really unfortunate for Chen how pivotal that will prove to be. Well, initially it could be a loss of set. I have to say it was brave of Chen to go for that clearance in the first place. As you mentioned, just even picking out that window was brave.
Well, I was surprised to see her go for the combination. I actually was thinking maybe a thin contact off the 6 and try to still grind it out. But maybe she got a little bit frustrated too. She was supposed to run out. So this then for 2-0 lead in sets.
Yeah, very convincing, Tim. I have to say, both sets could have gone either way. Another opportunity for Chen to bring that to Hill, and it could have been a different result. And as the players leave the arena, we'll bring the statistics up for you. Myself, Gethin Davis, and my colleague Tim de Ruyter will just take this small opportunity to take a break with the players. And we'll be back very shortly for the start of our 3rd set. Don't go anywhere.
And so we are back all the way live from Rome. This is the Banca del Fucino WPA Women's World 10 Ball Championship. And in this last 16 single elimination stage match, we have Shasha Liu currently up 2-0 in sets against Ximing Chen, both Chinese. Now in the commentary box, myself, Tim de Ruiter, gladly joined by Gethin Davis. Gethin, do you see any way Ximing can play herself back into this match, or is Shasha maybe a bit too clinical right now?
Yeah, I have to say I agree with you with Shasha being clinical. Can Chen get back into this? Yes, definitely. But following that break, she's going to have to do it the hard way, because really needs to get that break working. And as we looked on the statistics there, Shasha certainly getting the better of them. Also having a break and run under her belt. So if the play is still clinical from Shasha, it's going to be very difficult for Chen, and the scoreline is not going to help her here. And that was ambitious. Didn't work out. Don't think she's left the 2 on.
Yeah, but most likely a good save. 2-ball can be easily put behind the 7. Yeah, I'm gonna say could have maybe tried to do more with the cue ball. You know what kind of shot is coming on this. Maybe even a thin edge of the 2, but yeah, if you can kick this, catch this half a ball or maybe a little thinner, you're behind the 7, so missed opportunity for Chen. Yeah, you could feel this coming all the way.
We haven't really seen any large exchanges of safe. And again, the table looks quite spread out. So we could be back into that position where the first real key safety could result in the opportunity to run away with this. The 7 now covering the 2 into the bottom right. But no look at the 2 either.
Extension.
Yeah, that side pocket, Tim, looks to be just in the way.
I can still play before the side with a lot of right. Looks like she's going past the side, so maybe draw, trying to make it shorter. Oh, very fine hit.
Didn't look like she was able to get it that thin playing underneath the side pocket. And this is now a combination opportunity for Chen. And it looks like the 2 and the cue ball are going to run towards the short rail here. Nicely done. Quite a good looking table there for her, Tim. I'm just maybe getting from the 4 back to the 5, but doesn't look like there's really too much to worry about. It's going to be...
Oh.
She's got position on the 4.
Yeah, but this is pretty steep. Quite the cut. None of the cuts you actually practice. It's a bit away from the spot and everything, but she does manage to get it done.
Yeah, that's a good recovery. I was worried that she had missed the 4 ball and was playing position on the 5. Oh, teasing the side pocket as well. Playing with fire, but so far not getting burnt.
Ooh. Did catch this a little thinner. And I was gonna say, if she gets a little flick on the 10, she's not even going to be on the 9, so a little bit of a scare. She's okay though to run into the top short rail and back out. Oh, Geth.
After missing the 10 and leaving it on, Tim, I didn't see that coming.
Well, we are aware of the fact that most of the Asian players, they don't show as much emotion around the table, but her face right there told me plenty. Because she is frustrated. We've seen that earlier when she tried to cut the 9 still in and missed the ball. Like, completely. And then now missing this 9. Pure frustration.
Well, she cut me short, to be fair, Tim. I was about to say, as with the first 2 sets, it looked like Chen was going to take the opening rack, and I was starting to worry if that was a good or a bad omen for her, as the scorelines have gone both sets to her opponent. And then she misses the 9. All sorts of drama in our opening rack in this 3rd set. I'm sure there's more to come. As we just take a flick over at table 1, well, Savannah Easton brought that back to 1 set apiece. Cheska has replied with the 3rd set, leading 2-1 in sets. She's also leading 2-1 in racks in the 4th set there. If you want to keep updated with all the scores, all 8 last 16 matches well underway, please do visit probilliardseries.com, where you'll get links to this and also to the fixtures for our up-and-coming Fujifilm Women's Double Showdown, which will be coming up next at 3 p.m. local time today. Now Xia Liu, for the first time in this match, taking the opening rack in the set. She leads 2-0.
Well, another chance for Chen. All the balls flying up table. Look at this spread.
Yeah.
That's where things really started to get going early on for Liu on the break. This kind of spread and making a couple balls you can get going. But now, open layout for Chen. 1, 2, 3, most difficult. In general, not an easy layout. A lot of traveling back and forth.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure if... Oh, she's called the side pocket. I didn't know if there was more value going for the top right here. This does look like the cue ball's going to be running into a bit of trouble. She avoided everything, Tim. And that's left her with no look at the blue too. I think she can see an edge. Oh, more than an edge.
Yeah, great recovery. Definitely one she needed. Now, needs to get... Ooh. Not sure if she calculated that bump on the 7. But it does give her a bit more opportunity to get from the 5 to the 6.
Yeah, the 8 ball forcing her into needing to come underneath the 6. This is a good angle. Shouldn't bring the 7 into play. Ooh, may have to take the longer 7 on here, Tim.
Yeah, good choice. But gotta watch the cue ball. Run into the 9 or the 10. Could be trouble. Yeah, I
Oh.
was just gonna say, in some kind of way, I felt like she was a bit quick there. It's now the third 9 she's missed. Okay, this 9 has landed. Not too horrible. But Shasha probably feeling lucky to be back.
Yeah, it's just felt a little bit like there was a rack in the second set where Chen was coming across as rattled, even though, as you mentioned, it's very difficult to read it from their face sometimes. And these unforced errors really haven't been there for her so far in this tournament. And we're getting to the latter stages, Tim, as you brought up. This will be for a place in the quarterfinals, and if you are going to start feeling pressure, now's about the time it arrives. Great bank on the 9.
Yeah, what a shot to still being able to tie the score at 1. But she desperately needed it too. So what a moment.
Yeah, I think there was a few demons in that shot that she just let out. And with the 9 making it nice into the side pocket, that will just give her a little jolt in the right direction. Having a quick look out over our other matches. Over on table 3, the match between Sophia Mast and So Soa. They're locked at 1 set apiece, about to begin their third. The same situation, Yuki Hiraguchi's fought back against Rubin and Aramith. They're locked at 1 apiece in sets, and they're about to begin their third. And the all-Japanese matchup, Chihiro Kawahara, well, she currently leads 1-0 against Samiya Konishi. Samiya has fought back and in the second set is leading 1-0. We'll keep an eye on some more scores as they're coming in thick and fast. Sending Chen to break. Well, I don't think she can hit it much harder than that, Tim. Huge spread of the balls, nothing finding a pocket. The 1 doesn't look to be available except for the bank.
Well, she was quite a bit off there. Way too short. And now, shape on the 1. She did tie up the 3 and the 4. And with the 2 ball down table, far from over this rack.
Yeah, Chen just had a very close inspection of that. As you can see from that camera angle as well. 3 covered into that top right corner. And Chen dressed her cue up against the rail here. Not far off where the cue balls come to rest. Not come far enough, but has she left the carom on?
No, she might be just playing for the cut on the 3 ball itself. And this is not the first time we've seen this before, Geth. Seeming kind of opening up the rack. And then every time she misses after a couple balls. For Shasha, it's just about clearing up. It doesn't really have to do too many difficult positions. Just this 3 to the 4. And then maybe the 5 ball, but
Yeah, I think you picked up on it well when she went for that really tough cut on the 9. Just feels like maybe there's a sense of desperation that she needs to start taking a few chances and bringing the match to herself. But that cut on that red 3 just looked fraught with danger. However, this is not too good a look on the 4. Shasha's going to be forced into playing a safety here. Oh, well, I say that. She may pick off a bank. Nice. Good cue ball locked against the 5. Limits the options for simming here.
yeah, needs a contact. Ball in hand would be the worst. She should be able to make a contact. Oh, close. But look, I think she's also due for a good result, you know, like on these kind of contacts, because it's kind of brutal if you leave it hanging over the corner over and over. And Shasha just needs to cross over to the 5. If she gets straight, ideal to get onto the 6.
Just caught the side pocket, Tim. The 7 is in a bit of a spot where it might hamper her control of the cue ball. Or it may come to a benefit, and that's worked out very nice.
Yeah, nice to go 2 rails. Oh, she's actually looking at going for the 8 in the middle. I was thinking just 2 rails to play the 8 in the top right, but she does have it into the corner. That is going to work.
Yeah, and she's doing what she's done in the previous sets, Tim. And that's jump on the opportunities when they arise. And so far, I do feel the most unforced errors coming from simming at the moment, and it's not going to help her cause getting back into this match. Neither will this 10 ball. It will put Shasha 2-1 up in the 3rd set, a set which, if she wins, will give her the match.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the break hasn't been going for quite a while, but just that one opportunity, 1 ball on the break and get a shot, and Siming might not even get back to the table anymore. So worrying times for Siming Chen on the left, playing a 7.55 overall. Not the strongest match from her. She starts off perfect in the opening set in the beginning. Second set actually at 810, so much better, but still losing.
Yeah,
777 for Shashalu. a bit more solid, closer to the 800 range, but both 7 missed shots and 4 fouls.
Yeah, the fouls have made the difference. And I also think Shasha's breaking has been a determining factor. Let's see how she can deliver here. The one ball is on Tim after a dry break, simming to the table. What are the chances of being able to get anything on the 2?
Well, she might have to draw directly into the left long rail. So avoid the 8. She's still going to try and go around it. Oh, I didn't like that at all.
No, that 8 needed to be avoided to have the better chance. Six is in a rough spot.
Yeah, decent safety, but definitely needed more cover than this. I have a feeling she's going to play the split, but especially if she runs softly into the 5, opens up the 3 ball, and the cue ball would stop behind the 3 ball.
Oh, good cue ball. Good focus on the cue ball. Is jumpable with that gap between the 2, but not giving Chen anything to really attack here. And nothing really guaranteed on getting safe from this. It's not bad at all.
Well, she's looking at playing the 2 above the 3 and the 5. Pretty decent chance to get the save.
Extension.
Look to use the 5 or 3 for cover. However, the 2 ball is nicely snugged in between them both.
Extension.
Bojana Banda from Serbia overlooking proceedings here. Needed close inspection. That's not going to work out here though, I'm afraid. The 5 covering the 3 may be a saving grace. Ooh. Bump on the 10 certainly didn't help. But that 3 still hampered by the 5.
Well, did sound, well, she is taking on the combination here, Geth.
Yeah, I heard her call the 5.
I cannot imagine. Why would she play that? I mean, that was so off angle. She was running out of time. I probably would have just tried to roll up on the 5 or something soft.
Yeah, maybe it's getting a little tetchy out there for Shasha as well. I wonder if Chen's picked up on that, if it is indeed the case. This was all she could get on the 4. Banked the 9 in a similar fashion in this position earlier in the set. And she's called the bank again. It's going to be tricky to have shape on the 5 with the 8 being there if she wants to stay that side with the cue ball. Oh, she's tried to come around it. Fortune favours the brave. And now, will she be forced into the 6-9 combino? Oh.
Well, she did put herself perfect on the 6-9, but she forgot something. And it's actually one of the main objectives is to still make the ball.
Is there an option to make this and come into the 6?
Well, with how much he's overstretched, I would just roll up on the 8, but I can barely reach anything. Just wait for the bank. How's the pace?
Ooh. She's played a couple of aggressive shots.
It's not like it's not there. I mean, I still feel like you should go. Yeah, took the risk. Look at the shape on the 7. Well, are we gonna see 3, maybe 4 times the long rail? She might be able to get there too. Low left, try to get close to the middle. There was no side spin at all on that.
No. And dare I say, forced into a containing safety here. Well, depending on Chen's mindset here, Tim, she may just go for the bank, but that 8 has landed nigh on flush with the rail.
Oh, is that 8 gonna stop in time? It did stop in time, but I can imagine Chen's heart skipping a beat there for a second.
She called it. Well, well, well.
I mean, we both should have predicted this because the first 2 sets did go 2 each. And we still gotta have that same rhythm. So
Fate.
Oh, this is long too. I mean, should not be missed. How often do players rattle this?
More often than not, for my liking, when it comes to me. Simming has made that, and this 10 ball to bring the scoreline familiarly to 2 apiece in this third set. A must-win set for Simming Chen. Checking out the photographs that they've been taking during this match. They've been blessed with some great action. Now, is this the time for Chen to start getting her break working? Because that's going to need to be part of the shift if she's going to get back into this match. And for me, really important that she gets to the hill first here, Tim.
Yeah, well, we keep hoping for things to happen on the break, but I mean, I like the fact that we're not using any template and it's too easy to make a ball. But with how many breaks we have seen, the numbers are just so low to make a ball on the break. See a 1, 2, and a 6 getting close to the middle. They don't go. And another dry break. Just, yeah.
Well, for me, it makes the match much more exciting because it can just snuff out momentum and just hold players back from really running away. And in short races to 4 in this best of 5 set format, a player finding that sort of flow can start to run away with these type of matches in this format. So it's been working really well for me. It's made for some great exciting matches, but I do feel Chen needs to start getting some momentum, and it has to come from the break in my view. Oh dear. That's a bit of a double whammy, Tim. Not got shape on the 1, and the 2's been pushed safe with the 5.
Yeah, you could still jump. Half ball, stun left. Run the cue ball into the 5-2. I don't mind to jump this, but she's kicking. I don't feel like kicking. You're going to get close on the 2.
Oh, nicely done, drawing that cue ball back. The best contact you could have made with that 1 ball. And now a nice position to try and lock the cue ball behind the 5.
Well, she did take her chances at the bank.
Tricky little spot where that 2 has landed. There's the 8 and the 10 around it. If she can find that gap between the 3 and the 5, there's a good chance of the 2-railer.
Did that 8 and a 10 line up for a combination? I think it should be fine. This is to get on the double hill. Shashaloo. 2 rails to play. The 3 ball into the top right. Could have gone a bit higher up the rail. So already in trouble. We'll have to kill softly the cue ball into the 4.
I have to say, Tim, Shasha has looked formidable in open play. We were saying the same about Chen after the second rack in the opening set. Just hasn't been able to stick with it for simming. And with a couple of unwanted errors and the breaks not going Chen's way, you have to say Shasha fully deserves to be in this position. And as you said, as long as that 8-10 hasn't fallen funny, you fancy her here to get on the hill, the double hill first, in very quick fashion.
Oh, she's got the perfect angle. Yeah, I really think the combination is as much as straight.
And Simming Chen knowing that it's going to be a big mountain to climb. With the scoreline 3-2 in the third set, trailing 2-0. You would never want to counter out. The 10 ball gets respotted here. But Shasha has really put her under the most enormous amount of pressure here.
Well, could have done a bit more.
Yeah, just gave up a little bit off the rail.
But it does go in. Shasha Lu now on the double hill. 3-2 in the third set. Siming Chen in big trouble.
Yeah,
This is last 16. This is for a place in the quarterfinal. The loser will have to go home, so a lot at stake.
It is indeed very difficult to see a way back in this for Siming Chen. She will be still holding hope and looking to take advantage of any opportunity she get. And just for our viewers, in case you want to set your reminders and the notifications on the Pro Billiard TV channel, coming up next on this table, we will move into the semi-finals of the Fujifilm Women's Double Showdown. On our table, we have Sosoa and Savannah Easton taking on the Japanese pairing of Hiraguchi Kawahara. And over on table 1, Chow and Takach takes on Liu and Muramatsu. That will be at 3 p.m. local time, just over 2.5 hours from now. Siming Chen was looking a bit despondent, but noticed the cameraman in quarter. I like that. Shasha Liu with the break, leading 3-2 in this third set, leading by 2-0. This rack could be the rack that takes her into the quarterfinals. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, straight in. 2 on this one. Look at the 1, 2, and the 3. Just to get from the 4 up table to the 6. At least she has a chance to close it out on her own. She will never be able to tell her friends that she never got a chance to close it out.
For me, these are the moments where just taking an extra breath, that important. The heart does start to flutter when you see the finish line. I don't care how good a pro you are and how seasoned, that's still ever present. But yeah, Chen resigned in her chair. Only left now with the possibility of getting back to the table from an unforced error. She has looked in formidable form, Shasha, though, Tim. Really do think she's in the sort of form that could take her all the way. Predator PBS Group's CEO overlooking this match. Karim Belhaj. Wonderful interview with him from Luke Riches earlier this week, discussing the future of the sport and how important bringing this Women's World 10 Ball Championship to Rome. If you get on the Pro Billiard Series social media pages, you'll pick that one up. I definitely recommend that one for viewing. Back to Shasha, still at the table, looking good here, Tim.
Yeah, giving herself the ideal angle on the 7 to just stun the cue ball 1 rail back to the middle of the table. It's just all about handling the pressure. She's a bit further away from this 8 ball. Should never be a problem, but I mean, we've seen stranger things happen. Oh. Yeah,
Lovely
she
smoke.
realizes too.
A heart-stopping moment, Tim.
Attention.
All about pace. What a time for a break and run, Tim.
Well, up to this point, she had 33% break success. Well, if you look at how many racks have been played, it's not very often we've seen a break and run come in, maybe the second time. But what a moment to do so. Shashalu now with this 10 ball to play herself into the quarterfinal. And down goes the 10, so that means Siming Chen will have to leave the tournament. But, well, I'm glad to see both of them are still happy for Sasha. She advances through to the quarterfinals and still possibly having any hopes for the trophy later this week. Thanks everybody for tuning in at ProBilliard TV. We do have a lot more action to come all the way from Rome, so make sure to stay tuned on all our channels. And we will be back at 3 p.m. So hopefully we will get to welcome you back. Catherine Davis, myself, Tim de Ruiter. We are signing off for now, but we'll see you at 3 p.m.